12th of September, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua, Ha'azinu.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry if being delayed.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. Parshas Ha'azinu. Okay. I have one major question which I never really answered is L'chaira, you have Parshas Kisavai, all the curses mentioned there. HaKadosh Baruch Hu warns Klal Yisrael that if you don't listen to me, you're going to get all these curses. In Parshas Netzavim, it says HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to, you're all standing here, everybody together, to pass into this covenant, to make a covenant with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you're going to keep the Torah. And here again, now, I'm not sure it's a third thing, or this is actually the covenant. The end of last week's Parsha, it said, Vayda b'Moshe was the cause Divrei Hashir Azois ad Tumom. Says make a big thing. Vayichta Moshe Hashir Azois b'Yom Ha'u Vayilamdes b'nei Yisrael. It's the big thing over here. Yeah, makes a big thing. I'm not sure this is the covenant itself. I'm not sure. But anyway, why is it necessary to have it in the form of a song, of a shira? Assuming shira means song, it doesn't necessarily mean that. But certainly a poem may be better, in poetic form. I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm not quite sure why it was necessary this way.
Memory device.
Sorry?
It's a memory device.
We will remember it better.
Yes.
Maybe.
It says in the previous Parsha, you're gonna, I'm giving you this song and you're not gonna forget it. And it's gonna be a constant reminder of how terrible you are.
It also says that Vayilamdo es b'nei Yisrael, he taught it to the b'nei Yisrael, like they had to parrot it, they had to know it off by heart.
Right.
Yeah, where do you write? The Pasuk 21, chapter 31, Pasuk 21. Well, ki simtzonos aros rabos v'toros onsa shira azos lefon of le'eid, ki lo yisi shochach mipi zaroi. Everybody's going to remember it. But the Maisa, there was a special, going back to Pasuk Yutes, write for you this shir, this song, let's call it, the Lamdos B'nei Yisrael Simla B'fiyem, that they had to be fluent and they had to know it off by heart. Rashi says, referring to this song, this is the song, Hazino Shemayim Ad V'Kibei Ad Moshe Amod. By the way, it's interesting, we normally have a rule that Dvorim Shebiksav Iya Torah Shai Elohim Lo Peh. The written Torah, one's not supposed to say, one's not to say the psukim by heart.
Oh.
However, the Torah says specifically over here, Simo B'fiyem. that they're supposed to know it by heart. Obviously, maybe this Torah specifically makes an exception over here. But it's mashma over here, as it comes out, that the Jewish people, everybody has an obligation, well, at least certainly the Jewish people then, everybody knew this song by heart. Hazina Shema V'Adaberu. Okay, let's start. Mayor, let's make a start. You're the Kohen here. You start.
Okay. Ha'azinu Hashemayim v'adabeira v'tishma ha'aretz imrei fi. Okay, so isn't ha'azinu a causative?
Yeah, Hazinu is an imperative form. Hazinu Hashemayim. Listen the heavens. V'adabeira, and let me speak.
Okay, and here.
Sishma Oretz Imefi, and let the earth shall hear the words of my mouth.
Okay, let's see Rashi. So Rashi on Ha'azinu Hashemayim. Sha'ani matre bahem b'Yisrael. And v'tiyu edim badavar. Shekach amarti lahem sha'atem tiyu edim. Okay, so Shani Mitra.
Shani Masra Bahem Yisrael. It was Kadosh Baruch Hu is calling the heavens and the earth to act as witnesses when Kadosh Baruch Hu is warning the Jewish people, whatever's going to be written over here. We'll see what the content of the warning is.
Okay. The chain, so also, let's see, the Tishma ha'aretz, that the earth hears, Vilama he'id bahem shemayim va'aretz. So why he'id is to witness? Why did the heaven and earth witness in them?
One second. Hold on a second. Shekach amarti lehem, she'atem tiyu edim, v'chein tishma ha'aretz. V'lo mohed b'hem shemayim va'aretz. Why did the Kadosh Baruch Hu call to witness? Sorry, Moshe Rabbeinu. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu call heaven and earth to be witnesses?
Oh.
This is basically Moshe Rabbeinu. This is Moshe Rabbeinu's monologue. It's Moshe Rabbeinu's song, which he's warning the Jewish people to keep the Torah.
Okay.
Okay. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu call heaven and earth to be witness?
Okay.
Yeah. Omar Moshe.
Moshe. Ani basav adam. So Moshe said, I am flesh and blood. And l'machar ani made. Tomorrow I will be dead.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so im yomru Yisrael. So if Israel says, or will say, I guess, in the future, lo kibalnu aleinu habrit. Oh, we did not receive the covenant on us.
We do not accept upon ourselves the covenant.
So miba'u machisham. Oh, so who Oh, who would come? Okay, or who came? I'm not sure.
Who is going to come and, how do you say it? Contradict them, meaning that they say we never accepted it. Who's going to bear witness that they did?
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, so here's the answer.
Therefore,
Abraham Shemai
we
Baruch.
called
So there,
heaven and earth as witness against them.
wow. Can't get better witnesses than that. Okay.
Right.
I was going to say the opposite. I mean,
So it says,
the heaven and the earth.
well,
Well, they're not going to come. They don't speak. They're not going to testify. How are they going to testify?
Oh, so how? So 1 second. How are they going to testify? See, it's a very good question. It's a question which always bothered me because let's carry on. Rashi says they're going to be the medium by which the punishment is going to be carried out against the Jewish people. Va'oid.
Oh, okay. Well, first it says Edim Shehem Kayamim Leolam.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed that.
Forever.
Right? We're going to call to witness those witnesses which are existent forever. Now, we mean obviously forever as long as heaven and earth exist. As we say in Adon Olam, Adon Hashem Olam B'terem Kol Yitzin Nivra, Leis Nasa B'chem Tzokor Azem Echshem Anikom, V'acharei Kich Lo Yisak Kol, Levado Yim Lo Yichnoira. Right? Even after everything's finished, destroyed, Kosh Baruch will still be king. Vado Yim Lo Yichnoira. Okay, there's a whole discussion about that. Is whether this world, I mean, there are Midrashim and Chazal do mention various places that this world as we know it will cease to exist. The question, what does that mean? It will be totally destroyed, or does it mean there'll be a different setup? Okay.
Okay. So
anyway, but as long as this world exists as is, then heaven and earth are going to be existent forever. I mean, as long as this world exists. Okay. Va'oid. Furthermore,
Yavo ha'edim by Yitnu.
V'yitnu scharo. Right. She'im yizku. Right? If the Jewish people merit and they keep the mitzvahs as they should, and they merit to have to be worthy of reward, Yavoyu Aidim, these witnesses will come, the Yitnu Scharam, and they will be the ones to give their reward. How so? Hagefen Titin Piria, the vine will give up its fruit. And the land will produce its yield, its produce. And the heavens will give their due. So you see, this is the heaven and earth. The heavens and the earth will be the means by which Akash Baruch Hu will provide reward to the Jewish people for having kept to the covenant.
Okay. Do we see that this is true?
Do we see this is true? Sure.
I would say no, we don't see it's true. See, in 1948, the Jewish people came to Israel and cleared the swamps and developed the agriculture, and they were all kibbutzniks. They were communists. They were anti-religious.
You mean anti-religious? Okay, so you're asking a very good point, and also you're asking from a standpoint of somebody who's, let's say, it's been about 150 years, maybe a little bit more, since that first group of settlers came, and you're looking at in comparison to what was before. First of all, in the what you do see is that in the how long? About 1800 years, that there was no major Jewish presence in Eretz Israel, and there was no it was under the control and jurisdiction of the nations, right? Different nations came to try to settle Eretz Israel. None of them succeeded. In fact, this most famous piece by Mark Twain. I can't remember exactly his the form of expression. He says, "The desolation is so stark that it you know, itself lends itself to the question, why is nothing growing here?" I mentioned this in Parsha Tzavim, right? The comes from Acharon, right? The desolation, people, none of the nations, I don't know how much efforts were made, but not the Turks, and not the Ottomans, and not the who there were the Turks, the Turks before the what do you call it, the what's the names, the Eastern Roman Empire, the Constantinople, whatever, all the people who were in control over here, those who came afterwards in the Crusades, none of them were successful in developing the land. All of a sudden, the Jews start coming back, and and all of a sudden they manage to develop the land. You're asking a good question. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu allow it to be that people, totally irreligious people, were successful in cultivating the land? I do not have an answer to that. But by the way, they were not all irreligious. There were quite a sizable amount of religious, a number of religious, more should we say, national religious settlements, kibbutzim and moshavim and things like that, which were set up. There was also at the time, I'm not going into the thing, there was a big fight among the Baron Rothschild at the time was a tremendous philanthropist in encouraging the development of the land, of the agricultural development of the land, and it was very much in the hands of his how should we say, his appointees were the ones who were in charge of greasing the money, and there was a big fight who was going to get the money. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. That's the history of the founding of the state. But anyway, you asked a good question. I don't know. Yeah, it's again, it's the famous question. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does allow Rishonim to a certain extent to be successful, right? And why is it that Russia tzaddik v'ra'ala and Russia v'tovloi? Why is it tzaddik has it hard and the Russia has it easy or good? Okay, I'm not going to go into that. That's one of the major philosophical questions which have bothered Jewish philosophers for hundreds, if not thousands of years. But whatever. Akoponim, the Maisa, that if
Pretty clear here.
first, the other point, and the main point, I really forgot to mention it. The main point is what we have now, which I'm not denying is a tremendous flourishing land, which would have not been thought of 100 years ago, 150 years ago, that would get to this level, right? On the other hand, if you see the Gemaras which describe the prosperity and the tremendous produce which Eretz Yisrael produced at the time, even the times of the Tanoim and Amoraim, which was after the Churban, all the more so in the time when there was a Beis Hamikdash, what we have now pales in comparison to that. So I'm not denying that what we have is tremendous, right? But this is absolutely pales when the Torah says, Gefen Tita Imperia, or it's Tita Nesivula, we're talking about, I don't know how many times better than what we have now. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, let's continue. The
Ve'im-
Yishayvu,
אם יתחוו, תהיה בהם יד העדים תחילה. Okay. So if
and if
Israel,
Chas v'sholem they are culpable because they did things wrong, and they've done they're supposed to be punished, they're punishable. Who will be the ones to carry out the punishment? Yad ha'edim tchila. The hands of the witnesses, they will be the first, they will be the ones to carry out the punishment. How so?
okay.
V'otzares hashomayim
So
v'lo yeh matzor. Right? The Kosh Baruch Hu will close up, it will stop up the heavens, and there won't be rain. And the land will not produce produce.
Mhm.
After that, as a result, you will be perish quickly from the land. So the Meister, the heavens and the earth will be the ones to carry out the Kosh Baruch Hu's punishment. Right? Then you will be perished quickly by way of the Goyim, the nations who will Chas v'sholem, they will drive you out of the land, as happened in the time of the first Churban with Nebuchadnezzar, and the time of the second Churban by the Romans.
Yeah.
Okay? Lou, Pasuk base.
Ya'arof kamatar likhi tizal katal imrati kis rim alay
Alei. Kisim alei desha.
desha v'chir v'im alay aseb. So it's Ya'arof Himatar shall drip like rain.
Right?
Lik-
Likhi.
Tizal. Wow,
Man say, what's the word likhi mean?
my teaching?
Yes. Right? Lekach. You say it's used more euphemistically. He didn't learn a lesson. The lekach is like a lesson, something you can take away from what's being told to you or what's happening. Okay, that's the root of the word likhi, like from lokach, to take. So something you can take home with you, take away with you from what's being said. It's a lesson. In other words, my teaching, let my teaching drip like rain.
Okay. Tizal katal imrasi. Imrasi is my words. Let my words flow like dew.
Right?
Kasi'iram.
Kisirim.
Kasi'irim.
Kisirim.
Like winds.
Right, like storm winds upon the grass,
Upon the
on
grass.
vegetation,
And
vegetation.
on the vegetation.
Ali desha. Desha means vegetation. Okay, Ali
Right.
desha. V'chirvivim, and like raindrops
On the grass.
on the grass, upon plants.
Okay, so Rashi. Ya'arof Matar likhi, may my teaching drip like rain. Zo hi ha'edus sheta'idu. This is the testimony that you should witness. Shani omer mifnechem, that I say in your presence,
For you, the following.
Sati Israel, the Torah that I gave to Israel, Shehi Chayim La'olam, that it is the life for the world. Matar Hazet, it's like rain. Shehu Chayiv Le'olam, which Chayim Le'olam, that's which is the life of the world. Kasher Ya'arfu Hashemayim Tal Umatar, like that they drip from the heavens the dew and the rain. Ya'arof, drip. Lashon.
So one thing, just to sum up this Rashi. So Rashi's saying, in essence, what Moshe is saying over here.
I have to run to the restroom, sorry.
Okay. Steve, maybe you want to step in here?
Okay, this is all fantastic. This is beautiful poetry.
It is, right? But the question is, what
The Torah, Moshe calls it a song. It's beautiful. Yarof.
You understand? The question is, what's the message? Particularly this pasuk, right? What is the message being said in this pasuk? That's what Rashi is coming to tell them, right?
Trying to decipher the message for us, in my opinion.
Sorry?
I said he is trying to decipher the message being given by this pasuk.
Rashi, right, exactly. And what is he saying in essence?
Yeah. So
he's saying
rain is life to the earth, and Torah is our life.
Right.
Gives us life.
And what is the idea of flowing? As Rashi's going to say.
Okay, Lashon Yatif. Again, my
expression of dripping.
Ya'arfu tal, like flowing like dew. Ya'afon deshin.
Right, Joshua.
I'm not sure what.
They will flow deshin, which means deshin means grain or fat grain, means the fat, lush produce.
Okay.
Deshin is not just referring to grain per se, but it means healthy, fat, robust grain, good quality grain.
Okay. Tizal but katal should drip like dew. Shehakol smechimbo, which all rejoice in.
Everybody enjoys the dew.
לפי שהמטר יש לו עצבים לבריאות.
Labriot. So the labrios means rain causes certain discomfort and
to the world,
displeasure, right? To the labrios, to the people, to the creatures on earth. To go in hoche drochim,
Cholchei Drachim, but Cholchei Drachim don't like rain so much. But anyway,
Right,
like the
exactly. In other words, that's
antlers.
why, in other words, that's why the pasuk has to tell you a second comparison. No, just the one comparison to rain is not necessarily there's like a dark side to that, and not everybody's necessarily happy with rain. So
And
therefore, he's making another comparison to dew.
Li Shehaya Boror Malay.
Rain.
Someone has a cistern, a pit full of wine. I don't think he wants the rain on the
Exactly.
wine.
Now, especially if it's uncovered, all his wine is going to become diluted and he used to say also spoiled.
Kishirim, like storm winds.
Like with the sin.
Oh, Kisirim, like storm winds. Russian Ruach Sarah. It's kind of storm winds.
Expression similar to Ruach Sara, a storm wind. Even the one is with the Sahara is with a samach. And this word is written with a sin, but very often the two letters, the sin and the samach, are interchangeable. They have a very similar. Actually, they're interchangeable.
Kitagamo Karuche Mitra. And we can
Rain wind.
by rain winds.
Right.
So Maharuchot Halalu Machzikim et Asavim. Mazik usually is to ruin, but I don't know what here. My translation is totally different, but anyway, it appeared to me that these winds, Chazikim, that they ruin or destroy the vegetation.
No, on the contrary, no, not mazikim. Machzikim. They means they fortify, they strengthen the grasses.
So to strengthen. Okay, good. Right, very good.
Af divrei Torah.
God live. Tom.
Similarly, the words of Torah, Megadlim Esloim Dehen. Right, the words of Torah make those around them great. It gives them fortitude and builds their character.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and.
Okay. So we can switch back to you, Lou. We're up to the Rashi Chir Vivim. You have it?
No, we're still on pasuk 2, correct?
We're still on pasuk 2, and we're up to the words the Chir Vivim.
Oh, got it. Okay, Tipe Matar, drops of rain. The near Li, and it seems to me, Al Shem Sheoreh Kachetz, because it shoots like an arrow.
Right.
Nikra Raviv. It is called Raviv. Kama das.
Ta'at Omar
Are
Rove Kashos. You would shoot with an arrow, with a bow. It says that you smile. And when he grew up, we read it on Rosh Hashanah, they became he Rove Kashos. He became an expert archer. Okay, but Rove means to shoot. Kashos with a bow. So same thing over here. Chuvivim are drops of rain which shoot down.
Okay, desha, vegetation. In Old French, air
Air breeze.
atifas haaretz.
Mechutze b'yeret.
Mechumsa be'erek.
B'yeret, right.
With greenery.
Means like that's why I translate as vegetation. It's a general greenery. It's a general term. Desha means the general term for vegetation, greenery. So, like storm winds upon vegetation, the chilvivim are like raindrops, ale Esav upon Esav. Now Rashi says Esav, kelach echad kori Esav. Each plant is called an Esav. The kol minu min la'atzmoi kori Esav. And each plant for itself, each type for itself, is called a plant. Now, what Rashi is pointing out, Rashi mentioned this in Parshas Bereshis as well, that the idea is desha is like a more general term for vegetation. It's not referring to any individual plant, whereas Esav, the term Esav refers to a particular and each individual plant. Okay, so it means over this, so you would translate over here, Kithirim ale desha, like storm winds upon vegetation, so we do like raindrops upon plant. Okay, now, okay, very good. I think we'll hold it here. Okay, very good. We're going up to Pasuk Gimel. Okay,
Thank you
have
very
a
much.
great day. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Have a good day, everybody.
Good day.